So big welcome to Race Equality Matters Get Ready for Black History Month event. This is part of the Race Network Leaders and Future Leaders series. I'm Javid Thomas, co-founder, along with fantastic Raj Tulsiani of Race Equality Matters. Raj Tulsiani is chair of Race Equality Matters and also CEO of Green Park. We're also joined today by the behind-the-scenes Race Equality Matters team and also some wonderful guest speakers who will introduce you later on. I have to say the behind-the-scenes team are fantastic and a testament to why you're all here today, and hopefully an insightful event for you all. Today we're also expecting over 200 organisations. Attendees so far is over 260 as people coming through. I guess this clearly shows the appetite for this series and also to explore how Black History Month can make an even greater impact in tackling race inequality. A little bit about Race Equality Matters for those who may not have joined us before. We are a not-for-profit and an aim to be a catalyst to move organisations and individuals from just talking about race to meaningful action and has a real impact. And I know the Black History Month theme this year is action, not words, which we fully concur with. We co-create concepts and solutions in collaboration with those with lived experience of racial inequality. The key is to help provide you with the tools and resources so your organisations are skilled to be able to make the impact we all want to see and indeed feel. Some of the solutions you'll see here: Race Equality Week, the first week of every February, so 6th to 12th, 2023. We have the Big Promise, Safe Space, Tea Break, and My Name Is, and we'll touch upon the last two later today. We've also recently launched Race Equality Matters Jobs Board and our Trailblaze initiative, which again we'll touch upon a tiny bit later on. Next slide, please. It's important to say all this would not be possible without the support of our fantastic partners. So we have to say a big thank you to them, especially Green Park's fantastic continued commitment and the support of our lifetime visionary partner, BT, and our founding partners, Autotrader, Edelman, the Data Marketers Association, and HS2, to name a few. Their support, and this is important, means you can access all the solution resources and these events for free. And with 3,500 organisations engaged now to access this, it shows the value of their support. As I said, we are a not-for-profit and we are keen and indeed do need further funding. We haven't got a pot of money that we can guarantee the sustainability of the organisation. So if your organisation would like to support us through a donation or marketing opportunities, etc., get your name up here, then please do support us. Thank you. Next slide. Before I take you through the agenda, a quick bit of housekeeping. We'll be recording this event for you, which you can we'll share in due course, because I appreciate some people, it might be towards the end of their lunch break. If you have any questions along the way, please do put them in a chat and we'll do our best to answer them. Your sound will be auto-disabled until the discussion groups, which I'll explain about. Please do feel free, and it's important that you do tweet and post on social media content during or after the event. You'll see our handles on the right. We need your help to amplify and grow this movement. It's all about the community making this grow. You're the change makers, so without you, nothing will change. So this is the power you all have. We did have an agenda earlier. It's about 45 pages. It's a busy, action-packed agenda, so we've just tried to simplify it here. As you can see, there's going to be interaction, polls, you hear from some experts, opportunities to collaborate, new ideas, and if there's any time permitting, we'll get a Q&A in, but we might be tight for that. Today's event has been created for you to leave with ideas, learn from each other, and to be able to start planning to get ready for Black History Month. And we'll finish for 1:45 p.m. Next slide, please. So just to see who's in the room and get what we call a state of the nation, please can you help us with our first poll? If we can release the poll, please.
It's great to see that 62% of us here today identify as ethnic minority or appropriate equivalent, and 30% as allies. It's a consistent mix for all our events, which is fantastic because we need to unite to make the change we want to see and feel. In the organisation, 29%, so 1 in 3 of us as Race Network leads and 3% future leads, 24% Race Network members. There's 14% senior leaders and HR and D&I connections here too. So 42% identifies D&I. So the reasons we've joined today is 79% want to learn, 70% be inspired. I think that's the highest one so far. so no pressure on us and the speakers today. 41% want to collaborate and 37% want to network. So we can guarantee all them things will happen today. Well, I guess we have to wait for your feedback at the end. Question 4. How well do you think your organization tackles race inequality? So 43% fairly well and really well. So that's about the highest we've ever had before. But 57%, so nearly 2 in 3, are little or not at all, or not enough. So still a way to go. Do you feel your network has influence in your organization? This is about the highest we've seen so far. So 46% saying a good to a great deal. But again, about 50% saying a little, not enough, or not at all. And I think that's the key thing we've got from all our research. The networks need more support and more buy-in from the organisation to make the impact we want to see. Do you feel your leaders and managers are committed to tackling race inequality? So 63% are saying yes. That's more or less consistent between 60 and 70% at all our events. This is the result we're getting. But as you can see from above, the majority of us do not feel that the change is happening as we'd like to see it. Question 7. Do you believe Black History Month is a time for celebration? 81%. Reflection 76%. And focusing on the future 69%. Action not words 30%. And action not just words 67%. So I think that's quite telling on that. And the action not just words reflects Race Equality Week this year. Number 8, what impact do you think Black History Month currently has? So good to significant 31%. So 1 of 3 of us think really making a difference. And 44% says some. So I guess that's sort of half of us. And then 25% think little or no impact at all. Question 9. Do you know what your organisation is doing for Black History Month 2022? So 29% said yes, and then 71% no or unsure. And hopefully today, when you leave, it'll give you some ideas and great inspiration of what you might want to run for your organisation. When using or hearing a collective term, please select any you feel are appropriate. So what clearly stands out there is ethnically diverse, 51%. So 1 or 2 of us are going for that. Then we've got Black, Asian, multi-ethnic, 26%. BAME, 36%. And then people of colour, 35%. And people from ethnic minority backgrounds, 37%. So I've jumped around there, so I apologise, but ethnic diverse is the most common one there. Thank you very much.
As many of you know, Black History Month has been celebrated for over 30 years in the UK and was founded to recognise the incredible contributions of Black people in the UK. It goes without saying that its value and importance has never been more needed. However, there's been some debate that Black History Month is just another diversity day or diversity month in the calendar that does very little to deliver meaningful and sustainable impact. This October will be a time for continued focus and action to tackle the racism and inequality that is seen all year round. The impact that Black History Month can and should have should be for more than just a month. We're delighted you joined us to explore and collaborate and learn from each other to help our respective organisations and communities make Black History Month more meaningful and impactful than ever before, and a real focus on action, not words, which is this year's theme. I'm now delighted to introduce you to our first special guest speaker, David Adakitin, the Future Portfolio Training Head at Siemens. David is responsible for digitalization of training offerings and use of digital technology to meet the new ways of working. He's also the pioneer and the chair of an employee network known as Embrace at Siemens, responsible for representing the views and collective interests of ethnic minority employees at Siemens Mobility Limited. So it's an honor to have him here today. David, if you could unmute yourself, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much, David.
We can hear you, so thank you. And I apologise for the mix-up in your name. I must apologise. Do you feel Black History Month is purely a celebration, or does it have more impact?
I think Both definitely, it's a celebration, and at the same time is a form of education and reflection for all of us. I think if we have to go back prior to probably the incident about the Joy Floyds, probably a lot of organizations were not actually engaged in these in the celebration of Black History, but we've seen a lot of organizations pulling their weight over the years now. What I can say is that should this not this should the Black History Month should not only end in October. It should be a year-long event. It's not just for a period. It's something that we should celebrate. We should educate ourselves. It's about educating our allies at the same time, creating awareness and sharing part of our history. Because a lot of time we have a sort of assumptions which we don't have opportunity to run with our friends, with our colleague, with our peers in the workplace. So this opportunity is there for us. So in recent years, what we've done, we've run events during the Black History Month to create an environment where people feel they belong to a part of a set of people in the organization. They can share their journey. For example, we have people from different ethnicity, different Black areas, different African countries, but we don't know much about it. It's an opportunity to share a lot of this history. We've learned a lot over the years around the backgrounds of people from Uganda, from different Nigeria, from South Africa, and things that we don't even know about them. We've learned a lot there, and these are things that actually help us to be able to recognize ourselves. And when you talk about race in the workplace, race in the workplace is about recognition, acknowledgement, is about celebration with people, what they've gone through, how they've developed over the years, and it's about educating ourselves. So, Black History Month is an opportunity for us to create an atmosphere where the voice of ethnic minorities are heard in the business, across the industry, and the values are shared. Um, and I think if you look back, it's a fantastic opportunity to raise our profile of the ethnic minorities in the organization, where the same attention is given. Over the years, a lot of organizations give a lot of attention to gender, to other things, but I think it's important now we give the same attention to ethnicity in the workplace.
I think the couple of words you used, or keyword used there, is opportunity. So I think it provides that opportunity for the space and the focus. But I think the other thing you said is, we need to keep that opportunity going throughout the year. So it shouldn't just be once a year we focus on this. So thank you for sharing the thoughts. So I think opportunity was a key word that stood out for me. How does Black History Month make a difference in Siemens?
Over the years, I think one of the things since the birth of the network, I think it's a massive growth that we've seen in the network. We grew from very small numbers of 5, 6 people, and we're in our regions of hundreds plus. We're about 150 members in the network, and you have people that are allies that are joining the network as well. They want to be part and parcel of it. They want to be educated. They want to understand what is going on within the ethnic minorities. They want to learn about things that they probably have not shared in the education sector. We've done series of events whereby we've educated people around what is going on, what are the things they've missed over the years, and in to add to more, I think in our organization, we are well structured. We have a network where we've appointed roles within there. We have people that are in different capacity. We've elected people into roles like we have an ally chair as well. Even though I'm a chair for the network, we have an ally chair who goes about to help and bring all of the allies together and actually give a bit of education around that space as well. So going back to what we've done over the years in terms of impact on the business, we have done a lot by bringing industry experts are collaborating with organization. In the last 2 years, we've had series of speakers joining our organization. We have Eugene Ufele CEO for one of the NHS trusts join us on a discussion panel within the business. We've had Lauren Martin. We had various network chairs joining the organization. These are opportunities whereby we come together, we looked at things, and we actually learn from each other. What is going on in organization? Where can we share some knowledge? Where can we share best practice? How is each organization tackling race issues, and what are the things that we can do together to make it more elaborate and more bigger in the society. Because what we want is that even the organization needs to reflect the society we live. We need to be able to have impact both in our society, from just not just within our organization.
Brilliant, thank you. And I think a key thing you said there is collaboration and learning from others, and I think that's really important. And I would say, you know, it sounds like you do, is learning from others outside your own sector.
I think we need to do more of that as an organization. We need to engage more with other organizations and share best practices.
And I would suggest, and again, it's by popular demand and request, that's why this Race Network Leaders community to be built, so we can all learn from each other today and at future and past events. Can I ask David, what's been the most impactful thing you've seen being implemented during Black History Month?
There's so many things. Rather than saying just one thing, I think I will say that in the last few years, one of the things that we've done during this Black History Month is a series of events. It's not just an event for the sake of events. It's an event to actually educate ourselves. We, the ethnic minorities, needed to be educated. We, the ethnic minorities, need to educate our allies at the same time. We've been running series of events whereby we have we sign up to the Race Charter, which is fantastic. We are holding all our sponsors. We have executive sponsors. We have all our managements joined our event. I think one of the events that we had, whereby we had all some of the guest speakers, all of our 80% of our senior executive were on the call on the day as well. It was fantastic. It's about, because they know the value that the ethnic minorities bring into the business, and they cannot just be put aside. So in addition to that, we have a lot of series of events with like mentorship, whereby we are mentoring allies from the ethnic minorities, mentoring senior allies in the organization to give them understanding of what are the things we, the ethnic minorities, have gone through over the years, and what are the things they can do to learn from us.
Brilliant, thank you. A couple of things you said there, and from all our work, the organizations we've noticed are making better progress than others. It's a senior leadership buy-in and senior sponsors. Absolutely. And then the engagement with the allies, sorry. So I think that there are two things you hit on, and I guess what we've heard, organizations that might be struggling, these are not joined up. So it's typically Race Networks, senior leaders, and I. So thank you very much for sharing that, David. Really appreciate it. Now, picking up on what David says, what we'd like to do now is go into our first breakout chat to collaborate and learn from each other. And today we've got, I'm going to say, at least 40 different sectors, over 200 organizations. So I'm going to put you into little small groups of about 8 people. You'll have 7 or 8 minutes to just basically answer the question, what would make Black History Month more impactful? So what can we do that will make Black History Month more impactful? There's no right or wrong answers. Just go into them groups. Don't take your time introducing yourselves, because that 8 minutes will go very quick. So if there's a voluntary chair during it to keep everyone having a chance to have a say, please do that. So you'll all go off into a group, and then what we'll do is we'll give you a 1-minute warning to come back. So if we can let people go, that'd be fantastic. So what could you do to make Black History Month more impactful? I was in a very fascinating group, so hopefully everyone else got something from that. And I said there's a whole number of ways to look at how we can make Black History Month do, but I think in our group there was a diversity of thinking and suggestions, so I think it's hopefully we've all learned something from there. But I think one point I was picked up was actually going back to the history. I think touched upon it's not just since the 40s or 60s, it's hundreds of years. Black people have been a contributor, and I was saying we're talking to an organization where actually they're going to get away from the stereotyping of stuff. And actually even hundreds of years ago, not all, there was a lot of slavery, but there was other people that were making an impact and difference, and to bring that into our schooling and education at the early days. So a really fascinating group. So thank you for that. One initiative your organization could introduce during Black History Month, I think in our group, this could work as well for some of the topics that was raised, is the tea break solution. So we'd like to just do a quick introductory video to it for those who may not be aware of it.
The tea break provides the framework and opportunity for an organisation to hear the honest voice and feelings of its colleagues about race inequality. All employees are invited to join a 1-hour themed online discussion about an issue that matters. Individuals can remain anonymous, listen to others, or actively participate. It's freedom of choice. Benefits of the tea break include fosters inclusion, supports well-being, highlights issues for action, removes the barriers and the fear of talking about race, normalises conversations on race, and builds understanding of the issues. You can also join the Race Equality Matters Tea Break community. We've set up a peer support network on Guild. Guild is a community app for professionals. It provides private, secure spaces for collaborative discussion. Guild is already helping over 20,000 people have conversations that matter. We also have a tea break guide, co-created by those with lived experiences of race inequality. This guide consists of 4 phases and 11 steps. This guide outlines the practical steps you can follow to set up and run a tea break.
Well, it's important to see that it was Network Rail's Cultural Fusion Network created the initial concept and worked very closely with us and other people ethnically diverse across the country to build the toolkit and the guide. And they talk about themes and topics from arranged marriages to microaggressions. You can use it, and so Black History Month, you can pick different themes to use from there. So we have to say a big thank you to that, the generosity of them allowing us to sort of scale it up and share it with all yourselves. So what I'd like now to introduce you to is our next special guest speaker, Lorna James, who herself, in fact, has implemented Tea Break in her organisation. Lorna is the membership coordinator subscription at the Institute of Physics and has experience with Tea Break itself. She's also the chair of the Multicultural Staff Network. So fantastic, Lorna, thank you very much for joining us. So can I ask you, from your own perspective, how important is Black History Month to you and your Black colleagues?
Black History Month is really important to me. I didn't find out about my history until my grandmother came to England when I was about 7 years old. So it's really important to me to share my history. As the chair of the Multicultural Staff Network, it is really important for my colleagues to share the history of their culture with the wider organisation, and this is what we do throughout October.
Brilliant, thank you. And actually in our group, one person touched upon about not knowing their full history. So I think that's really echoes what you just said then. So from your experience, what tea break themes and formats do you think could be used during Black History Month?
In terms of theme, what we did following our first tea break was to send out a survey to measure feedback and engagement. Themes that came back from the survey were people wanted to hear more about personal stories and histories, holidays and celebrations, and how to support people with different backgrounds in the workplace. This also helped us with ideas for Black History Month and future tea breaks. Since then, we have ran 2 more tea breaks, microaggression being one theme and holidays, good and bad experience. What we tend to do, we alternate from a light-hearted theme to a serious theme. Our tea break at the end of October will be a 5-round quiz. In terms of format, format will vary from tea break to tea break. We source videos, photos, and blogs to highlight the chosen theme. We circulate these in advance using the intranet and Yammer. This helps staff members to understand what we are discussing. And we also use an icebreaker. This is a good way to get the conversation going and also to know your audience as well. And finally, after the tea break around microaggression, we signposted audience to available support if anyone was affected by what was discussed.
Oh, brilliant, thank you very much. And I do know some organizations have used the concept of a quiz to help with the education. It's a kind of different way of learning in that sense. So great idea. Thank you for sharing. So, tea break had any impact in your organization?
The tea breaks have created like a social space for all members of staff to come along and join in or just listen to those comfortable and uncomfortable conversations. The CEO and the members of the exec team have come along to the tea breaks as well and have made some insightful contribution to the conversations. In our tea breaks, staff are comfortable to have those uncomfortable conversations around racism, microaggression, and bullying, which has helped to relax staff. And the positive feedback we have been given to the network encourage to continue with having those conversations.
Brilliant, thank you. And can you just, for the, people in the audience today thinking maybe about running tea break, do you have sort of 3 top tips that you could share with them?
Definitely read the Safe Space Tea Break Guide. I found the guide extremely useful and easy to adapt to our network. Get members to support you. I felt I needed 3 people to run the tea break. My role is to keep the conversation flowing. I have also a backup, just in case I wane a little bit, and someone to monitor the chat. And don't overthink it, just do it. It is scary initially, but rewarding once it's over.
Brilliant, thank you. So a couple of things to say actually. Mental Health First Aid England sort of co-created it with us as well to help make sure you keep people safe. I think you touched upon when you talk about uncomfortable sensitive areas, how to signpost people. I think that's really important. And I think the other thing here, Lorna, you said, and others have said, don't do on your own, do it with other people, but just go and do it. There's no excuse, it's simple. Just run it and then you learn from it on that side. So thank you very much. You can get access to our guide and the video, it's for free. And it'll also explain us what someone asked about the difference between safe space and tea break. Safe space is more intimate and then more action driven. Tea break is actually getting starting to understand your colleagues more, and then it'll drive action down the line, because I think it's I guess a step-by-step education piece in that sense. But Lorna, I really appreciate your time taking part in it, and I appreciate it's not your natural environment talking like this, but thank you for sharing, Lorna. What we've now got is a pre-recorded interview we did with Natalie Watt, who's the HR Systems Manager at Equans, and she'll share a concept that may be of interest to some of you during Black History Month that she used last year. If we can share that video, thank you.
For Black History Month in 2021, we created a 21-day challenge. First of all, I must start off by giving credit to Eddie Moore, who is the creator of the 21-day Racial Equity Challenge. So please do research him and understand the origins. And then secondly, credit to Paul McFarlane, who is a partner at Capsticks law firm, who highlighted this challenge to me. So basically, the challenge was for the 21 working days of October, you were invited to watch, read, or listen to a piece of media. Typically, that piece of media was between 5 and 15 minutes long, and we covered a whole raft of different topics, such as workplace challenges around race and ethnicity, allyship, inspirational figures, how to be an anti-racist, the ethnicity pay gap, and even historical events such as the 1919 riots. Many of these activities we had further signposting for, so at the end of the activity we would give you links to information you could go on to read some more about, or links to different books and things like that around that particular topic. We also had self-reflection questions at the very start and the end of the 21-day challenge. So it wasn't questions that we expected to see the answers to, it was just the individuals thinking about their particular mindset, their particular interactions and all the rest of it as they stand today, and what perhaps they might change after the 21 days. And then throughout, there was also questionnaires based on the particular topics of that day sometimes. We were really fortunate that we got all of our senior executive team involved in the production of our challenge. And the way we did that was we got them to introduce a piece of media for that particular day. So they had a reading list of all of the different media that we intended to use, and they each chose a particular piece of media. And then they recorded a piece to camera as to why that media piece resonated with them. So as an example, our head of legal, she spoke about Michelle Obama's book, Becoming, and she spoke about why Michelle Obama was an icon of hers and certain things that she was interested in with regards to Michelle Obama. We also pushed the boundaries wherever we could in just little subtle ways. So for example, lots of our music background choices were either songs of African origin or reggae beats, not typically what's seen in a corporate world, corporate style. So it was just trying to make things just a little bit different. And then in terms of how we went about the challenge, we hosted it on our internal learning platform, which allowed us to seamlessly store the resources and the questions. And it allowed us to gain an insight into how many employees completed the challenge. And then there was also an area where employees could comment and post remarks. And then the way the challenge actually worked was each day, the system would push out an email to those that had signed up to the challenge saying, today we invite you to partake in today's activities, the links to whatever it was, and they would be able to go through all of what they was expected to do. And also, if they missed any activities, they could complete it retrospectively, so they could see all of the 21 days challenge, the historic stuff that they may have missed on a particular day, and go back and complete it. If you haven't got a learning and development platform, would be to collect the names of those people who want to participate. And then each day, whoever you're going to get to coordinate this challenge, they could simply send them an email with the links to the particular resources that you want them to watch, read, or listen to. So it might be podcasts, it might be things hosted on YouTube platforms, etc. So we used a lot of BBC podcasts and YouTubes in our resources. They may also want to include in the emails access to other resources like we did, and also perhaps links to surveys that they might have built. So they might use something like Microsoft Forms to build a survey, and then they could still have that interaction of people reflecting and doing things like that via those particular surveys. If it was just in email format alone is how you're promoting the challenge and pushing it out, I guess the way in which to get the senior executive to show their support and buy-in might be to get your senior executive to write a reflective piece on each particular media that they want to represent. And then that could be included in the daily email. So it will just be a way of, I guess, not using an IT system, but you could still do it via email, capturing all of the different strands that we did with regards to our challenge. The impact of our activity, well, I think we received overwhelmingly positive feedback from those that partook. Some of the comments that really struck me were statements around people, employees saying they'd never considered that particular viewpoint, or they didn't realise that certain things were happening in the workplace and broader society. Some employees even said that they completed the challenge of an evening time after work time so that they could do it with their family, because they really wanted to have this whole learning experience amongst their family and friends and discuss it afterwards. And it led to a lot of further discussions and a lot of people showing interest in topics that they just never really considered. So yeah, it was really great feedback. I think the only problem we've done now is we've created a very high bar for us to reach in 2022. So I really do welcome any comments, feedback, or inspiration on anything else that we can do to really push the bar again for this year. And anyone else that has anything to say, please feel free to contact me on LinkedIn.
Great, thank you, Natalie. Fantastic she could join us. We could record it because she couldn't join us today, but I could see from people's quotes and comments and that I love the idea. I think it's a brilliant idea. So we'll share her contact details afterwards as she suggested. So thank you very much. There will be a chance in a minute or two to collaborate amongst yourselves again. But just before then, many of you may have heard of the My Name Is solution. It's about basically to change how we all engage with other people and how we get names right that we're less familiar with. We're pleased to share this brand new video.
My name is Mahari Hay. My name is Mahari Hay. Phonetically, that's pronounced Mahari. So my name was given to me by my father, who was a high priest of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church in Jamaica. And my father gave all my siblings really powerful Rastafarian heritage East African names. So my name actually means forgiver, or the one who offers forgiveness. And it's very fitting for my personality because I do enjoy speaking with people, working with people, helping people. And, you know, sometimes you do need to exercise forgiveness. So, you know, it fits really well with my character, and I hold my name in high esteem. When people get my name correctly, I feel very proud because I think they've taken the time to either read your name, understand it, and then pronounce it properly, because sometimes it might not be as easy to pronounce as other names. So just to know that somebody has taken the time to read my name and pronounce it correctly is very welcoming. When somebody says my name incorrectly, it can be a little bit frustrating, thinking about, especially if you hold your name in high esteem, thinking about the heritage of your name, thinking about how your name was chosen and given to you. So for people not to acknowledge your name or really take the time to either ask you the question if it's being pronounced correctly can be somewhat frustrating, but it's easily forgivable, you know, again, through the meaning of my name. So if they take the time to really understand and answer your question, am I pronouncing your name correctly, all can be forgiven, just like as my name says.
My name is Olufumilola Bijude. Hi, my name is Olufumilola Bijude. I shortened it to Lola, but my full name, Olufumilola, is Yoruba, which is one of the major tribes within Nigeria. The meaning of my name is God give me wealth. So Olu is God, Funmi is give me, and Lola is a mixture of wealth. So my whole name means God give me wealth. In the workspace, I just shorten it to Lola because even at home, no one is calling me Olufumilola unless I've been bad. And the difference between someone getting my name right and someone getting my name wrong is this. When someone gets my name wrong, I feel as though I'm not being fully seen in my wholeness, and a part of me is being negated. Whereas when someone gets my name right, I feel as though I have full visibility, that everyone can see me. Not only do they see me, but they appreciate my difference and the value that brings to an organization or to a team. And so that is the difference between getting my name right and getting my name wrong.
My name is Mahari Hay.
My name is Olufumilola Bijude.
Big thank you to Mahari and Olufumilola. During Race Equality Week 2022, what became clear was the importance and value of people's names, especially the meaning and history behind them. And we talked about Black History Month, and some names, are centuries old. A name is far more than just a label. That's why we're keen to encourage organizations to run My Name Is with the more than a name theme. So more than a name is what we're calling it. So all our organizations are talking about being diverse and inclusive, but how many of us make the effort to get people's names right at the outset? And when we don't, how does that reflect on our respective organizations, the D&I messages and the cultures of our organizations? So please do think about that, and you can have access to them videos and others we've got if it helps you showcase it to your colleagues or make your own videos. Right, but what I'd like to do is do a quick final poll, and then we want to tell you about some stuff coming in the pipeline, including Trailblazers, which some of you may know about, or may not. So if we could just quickly do the poll, and this is our way to learn what's working from today's event and what can we do better, and also what ideas did you hear today that would really resonate, and then maybe with a bit of funding we can create a new solution like Tea Break and My Name Is.
So thank you all for filling out the poll. So over 200 of us have done that. Would you recommend today's event to others? So 96% saying yes. So that's phenomenally high. So thank you so much. But to be fair, because of our fantastic speakers and contributors, that is consistent to nearly all of our events. Did you learn anything new today? I think that's what's important about Race Equality Matters, and it's fantastic and heartening to hear 94% of you learnt something new today. So there's a lot of talk about race and Black History Month. It's very easy to repeat old grounds, but it's fantastic that you've all, or 94% of you learnt something new today. How helpful was it to hear from David? So as you can see here, 88% or just above found him really good to excellent, which is fantastic. And Lorna, who you may recall talked about Tea Break and the impact it has, is 93%. And Natalie, who talked about the 21-day challenge, an incredible 98%. So all three speakers scoring phenomenally high in good to excellent quality of help. So thank you all for feeding back on that. How helpful were the group discussions? And again, sort of 91% think good to excellent. So again, consistent with the speakers, but really importantly, that collaborating together, you felt they really made a difference. So thank you very much for that. And thank you all for your contribution. Do you think today's event has helped your organisation with ideas for Black History Month? Absolutely crucial. So 90% and 8% unsure. So which is still positive. So 90% think today has helped with ideas for Black History Month, which was what many of you wanted from the beginning. And do you think you may implement any of the following during Black History Month? So what is fantastic, 70% of you would look at My Name Is in the More Than a Name campaign. And again, 70% the 21-day challenge. A fantastic 61% Tea Break. And then 41% Safe Space. And you can see some other stats there as well. And as mentioned, you can get access to My Name Is, Tea Break and Safe Space on the Race Equality website for free. Again, just to share the other elements that may be of interest. And as you can see, 72% want to find out more about Trailblazers and 19% already keen to apply. And again, 14% consider applying to be a Trailblazer judge. We can just send more information on that. And then 43% finding out more about the jobs board, but 1 in 4 of you posting jobs on the jobs board, which is fantastic. And the final question is for Race Equality Week, what should the titles and themes or hashtags be? And as you can see, it's everyone's business, 48%. Change happens together, 47% stand out more, and an action, not words, on 40%. So thank you all for that.
So we've got Trailblazer Launch events tomorrow, where you'll kind of hear what is a Trailblazer, what makes Trailblazer, and you hear our first wave of Trailblazer organizations. As you know, Race Equality Matters aim is to turn declarations of commitment and support from organizations and individuals into meaningful action. So, you know, less talk, more action. We're also conscious that for many organizations, progression is to be slow, and momentum, David touched upon, it shouldn't be just for a month. You know, I guess your race becomes the flavor of the month in October, and then we lose it for another good 11 months, etc. We're often asked which organizations are making an impact and what does good look like. We therefore want to recognize and celebrate those organizations that are driving meaningful change. That's why we'll be launching our Trailblazer Accreditation mark. It will signal an organization's commitment to not only taking action on race inequality, but also making an impact. Trailblaze status will be determined by a diverse range of judges. All are experts in their own right, bringing together different experiences, different backgrounds, different sectors, and from across the whole of the country. All will identify as ethnically diverse, hence their collective decision on whether an organization makes Trailblazer status or not holds real value. Trailblazer is definitely more than an award. It is to both accelerate progress and encourage and inspire others to follow suit. From our research in co-creating Trailblazers, contributors said it could be a real game changer. There are two paths to Trailblazer. Path one is a Race Equality Matters solution and make an impact. So if you do tea break, safe space, let us know the impact it's made, and then you can become a Trailblazer. The second path is where you start off at bronze, then you can go to silver, gold, platinum, onwards. You need to trade bronze before you can move on, but this is to keep organization moving forward. So you don't just do it and then live off it for the next 20 years. You've got to keep moving it. The solution ones are lifelong. This one is if you don't do something within 2 years, you lose your status. So we hope this will keep progress going. Next slide, please. As mentioned at the top of this event, we also have a Race Equality Matters jobs board. The purpose is to help organizations attract a more diverse talent pool through having access to a widely diverse network. It will also help to see which organizations are committed to recruiting a greater portion of ethnic diverse talent. The jobs board is now live, so do go to our website to take a look. It's important your organizations are aware of it, but also let your colleagues, connections, and networks know about it. You know, we need people going on here to help change the diverse numbers getting into organizations. Anyone here today will receive a discount if they apply to post a job and post a job within the next 2 weeks. So if you can apply for a pass for it, with the next 2 weeks, you'll get a discount. You can also stay up to date with all the latest job postings by following hashtag REM Jobs Board and by registering on the jobs page. So please do champion it. So next slide, please. A huge thank you again to our sponsors and partners. As mentioned, we're not for profit, so if you could help fund or explore sponsorship or market opportunities, please do get in touch. Next slide. That's all we have for time, but we have to say a big, huge thank you to our guest speakers today, David and Lorna, who gave up their valuable time here. Do stay in touch by following us on social media, and hopefully you'll see many of you tomorrow. Thank you all for your time, and I'm happy to stay behind for 5 or so minutes and answer any questions if you can put them in a chat. So if I want to stay back for 5 minutes, please do them in the chat. I appreciate David and so Lorna may have to leave. Otherwise, please do join us on this. So thank you all for joining.